today?
Today is
Today is 100 days. I don't know why that's, you know what, I hate to do this to you, but as a diminutive woman, I'm going to have to lower the microphone here.
That's fine.
And
That's fine.
well, just how does it feel?
You know, it feels great. We have been working hard, and it's already paying off. We're seeing some progress. Obviously, we had the flight out of the Gary Chicago International Airport, the first commercial flight in a number of years. And while that was initiated under the Clay administration, we got them out of the off the runway in hours. And then the other significant piece to the airport is the agreement that we reached with the railroad. So that's occurred in the first 100 days. But, you know, I think more than anything, we have been able to really create a sense of team in Gary. And we've done that in a number of ways. One is through our Department of Constituent Services, which gets back to people about a variety of happenings in the city in the course of 24 to 48 hours. And so if you have a concern, whether it is a city-related concern or whether you want to make a call and say your landlord has not provided hot water to you in 2 weeks. Now, clearly, the city isn't the landlord, but there is a concern because it's a citizen. And so our Department of Constituent Services, and, you know, it's a department, but it's one person, Mary Cassie, addresses those matters right away. People call about concerns relative to code enforcement. You know, their neighbors aren't keeping their properties as well as they are. And obviously that brings the entire neighborhood down, the community down, so we want to see that. There are concerns that they have relative to garbage cans and other services that the city provides, and we have fielded probably over 1,000 calls in that area just since January. So that's a big plus for us, and one that we're extremely excited about. The other is the ability or the fact that we have taken all things related, all departments related to commerce, and put them under one area, which is the Department of Commerce, all items directed related to economic development. So we've taken planning, we've taken community development, we've taken redevelopment, we've taken zoning, and we've put them all together under the Department of Commerce and created this seamless process that is working extremely well. Right now we have 50 new prospects in the hopper that are going through this process to determine whether or not they want to locate their business or expand their business in Gary, Indiana. And just last week, and I can't make the formal announcement, but just last week we got someone to say, yep, Gary's going to be our new location over in a community that would arguably be much more attractive for some folks. But, you know, I have often said, and I will continue to say, that our assets are our transportation assets. And if you look at our location next to Chicago, if you look at the 3 major interstates that run through Gary, if you look at the Class 1 railways, if you're in an industrial business or manufacturing, light, heavy, or otherwise, then Gary's your location all day long.
219-845-1100. Gary Mayor Karen Freeman Wilson is in the house. And, well, let's go to the phone lines. If you guys want to talk to her, do it now at 219-845-1100. Hey, Chief, what's up?
Good morning.
What's going on?
Madam Mayor, that sounds all fine, what's going on over there, but when you ran for office, you promised a land-based casino. You've promised transparency in your administration, yet you did not hire a police chief from within. You snuck them in the middle of the night to be sworn in. And also you have Roosevelt High School in trouble with the state, and it looks like Lou Wallace is in trouble with the state as well. I'll hang up and listen to your comments. Thank you.
Well, let's take those in order. Let's go to the to the police chief out of Markham?
Absolutely. That was probably the most transparent process. We had a search committee that was led by Dennis Rittenmeyer, the former president of Cal College, who interviewed, gosh, they must have interviewed about 10 folks for police, 10 folks for fire, both internal and external candidates. And at the end of the day, I chose Chief Wade Ingram because he presented the best prospect going forward. He talked about community policing, which I believe is extremely important to our ability to address crime in Gary. He had had great experience with a community that was heavy on crime because before he was in Markham, he was a commander on the west side of Chicago. And, you know, you can't get more crime experience than on the west side of Chicago.
They had a lot of shootings over the weekend on the west side.
Absolutely.
21 wounded and 4 dead. It's just amazing.
I mean,
but so you brought in Wade Ingram. And, you know, it seems to be a bit of a trend. I know that Rahm Emanuel brought in some folks from the outside.
Sure.
And then you look to Philadelphia, D.C., and some other cities. They have kind of shuffled some of the leadership around in the education and in the police and fire. What does that do, though, bringing in somebody from the outside into Gary in an area, and especially in a police department that has a lot of tradition? How has the transition been?
Well, it's actually been a good transition. You know, Chief Ingram is a cop's cop. He rides along with a number of the guys. In fact, we were all on the ride along on Friday night, but that wasn't unusual for him. He is always at the scenes when there are shootings or murders, and, you know, fortunately, we have been under our trend in murders, but, you know, he is concerned about burglaries and robberies, and so he works very hard to connect with patrolmen, everyone from patrolmen to, you know, his deputy chief. And so I think I've been extremely pleased. You know, it's not that there was no one from the inside who was capable, but when you change in administration, when you know that you have challenges, you want the person who is the best at potentially addressing those challenges. So that's what my thoughts were. And for both police and fire, I thought we needed someone with a fresh perspective who didn't know who the quote-unquote bad people or good people were, who didn't have any preconceived notions about how to resolve issues, who didn't have any agenda other than to make the Gary Police Department, the Gary Fire Department, the best that it could be. But that was the most transparent process.